Hello, welcome you again at the YouTube channel Botany for All. So in this video, I will discussing the remaining part of the anomalous secondary growth in the beetroot. So we have discussed the beetroot, that how the storage part is being formed after the activity of cambium. The first cambium whenever ceases, the C1 whenever ceases, it produces a new cambium from the parenchyma itself that he have produced, and again the new cambium and so on. So the cambiums keep on producing the vascular bundles. These are the vascular bundles. Blue is secondary xylem and red portion is secondary phloem. So bundles are very less. Bundles are present in very less amount, you can see, and the more amount is of parenchyma. The pink region is storage parenchyma. That is why the beetroot is having more portion of the storage parenchyma that is storing the compounds or the nucleotic compounds, and vascular bundles are present in between them in very small quantities. So this is about the vascular cambium secondary growth. This is the secondary growth only taking place in the vascular region, means the xylem and phloem and the vascular bundle portion. But other than that, whenever any root is being thickened, okay, or any stem is being thickened, so another cambium is also formed, which is called the cork cambium. Suppose firstly any root is this much thin, okay, and now the root become this much thick. So this thickness, while the thickness is increasing, so thickness is increasing due to the accumulation of vascular tissues, xylem, phloem, or in this storage root case, the parenchyma. So whenever the parenchyma is increasing the thickness from inside, so there must be a opposite pressure which should hold that mass. If something is been increasing and there is no one to hold that from the outside, so that mass will be scattered altogether on the outside. So whenever the parenchyma is increasing, whenever the cambium is increasing the thickness from inside, so from outside also a cambium, which is called cork cambium, shows its activity simultaneously. Okay, it will not wait that firstly the thickness will increase from the outside, then the cork cambium will appear. It will act simultaneously along with the vascular cambium. So while these cambium are increasing the thickness by producing xylem, phloem, as well as the parenchyma, so outside also, what are the outside? Outside are the epidermis, cortex, and parenchyma. Since they are permanent tissue, so they will be ruptured. Whenever the thickness will increase from inside, so the outer tissues will be ruptured. But all those permanent cells form new meristematic cells that are called cork cambium. And again, I have told you, whenever a permanent cell become meristematic, this is dedifferentiation. So the older tissues, older cortex or older epidermis, get again meristematic by dedifferentiation, and the new meristematic tissue which is produced outside will be called cork cambium. Okay, so what cork cambium does is, like normal cambium, the cork cambium produce cork cells outside, like a cambium produce secondary phloem, but cork cambium produce cork cells outside and secondary cortex downside. There are technical names. The cork cells are called phallum, the cork cambium is called phallogen, and secondary cortex is called phalloderm. So the phallum, phallogen, and phalloderm jointly called periderm. If you want to study in detail about the secondary growth complete process, you can watch the concerned playlist, stem anatomy, or the concerned video. You will better understand that way. Although I have also explained this phenomena that once anything is being increasing from the inside, means from the vascular cambium, a new cambium from the older permanent cell, mainly the epidermis or cortex, is appeared, and that will form a new protective layer, which is called the secondary epidermis, a new epidermis which is thicker, having three layers: phallum, phallogen, or phalloderm, and collectively called periderm. So a new periderm will also be formed. Although the radius of periderm will be almost negligible because that will added in very less amount. The more portion in a beetroot will be more and more the storage tissues produced by the cambium itself, but pericycle will also be there to hold that mass. Now the cortex, endodermis, all those tissues will be disappeared, and only the pericycle will be there on the outer side. The most outer is the pericycle. So this layer would be the pericycle. Sorry, not pericycle, pardon. This is periderm. This much thickness is the periderm. The periderm itself consists of the three things: phallum, the most outer are the phallum, cork cells, then phallogen, a layer always remains meristematic, which is called phallogen or cork cambium itself, and after that the third layer is secondary cortex, which is called phalloderm. Jointly these three are called periderm. So that is how the complete secondary growth occurs in the animal secondary growth occurs in the beetroot. So mainly the storage part appears from the cambium, and the cambium ceases after their activity. A new cambium appear that is also ceases, producing vascular bundle as well as the storage region. So here is the this dark plaque. This is the peridrum, and after that all of the storage part having vascular bundles in between. Okay, these some kind of holes are showing as a xylem vessels. So these are the secondary xylem, and the major portion is storage parenchyma. So that is now the beetroot secondary growth is completed. Thank you very much. Have a good time.